This is Katie the Novel Stitcher. It is Wednesday, December 14th, and this is Flosstube number 8. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. This is a channel where I mostly talk about the craft of cross stitch with a little bit of bookish talk at the end as well. I hope you'll stick around and like what you see and consider liking this video, commenting, and subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here with me again. I really appreciate it. I love your comments. I love responding to your comments and getting to know you all and hearing about what you're working on and what you're stitching and get reactions to what I'm working on. It's just such a fun community, and it's really made my year to have kind of discovered cross stitching, to be cross stitching, and to be part of this amazing community. So for today, for life updates, nothing too exciting going on with me. Other weekend, my boyfriend and I, Alex, who you might have met in one of my last videos, we went to a Zoo Lights thing that my company held, which was a lot of fun, and mostly have just been relaxing, enjoying the holiday season. I did attend the Jingle Ball the other weekend. That was a lot of fun. That was an online cross-stitching event held by 12 different designers who there were stitching rooms, so it was mostly held on Zoom, and you could go into different rooms and stitch with people and just chat, which was so much fun. Someone even, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name, but someone recognized me. They recognized my voice in one of the chat rooms, and they said hi, and they gave my Flosstube a shout out, which was so nice. That was so much fun to have someone be in one of the rooms who's actually watched my stuff. Some of the Flosstubers I watch and admire were popping into some of the rooms, so that was so much fun. They did meet and greets with the designers, so I went to the meet and greet for Ink Circles, which was really cool, and then I went to the one with Teresa Kogut. There were hundreds of people in that room, but that was really cool to hear her speak. I haven't stitched one of her patterns yet, but I think she's just such a gorgeous designer, and I'm so excited to be stitching some of her things probably in 2023. There was also shopping, so all of the designers had unique patterns that they were selling. There's an ornament book I'll give you a glimpse of later in the video that I got, and it was just such a well done event. All of the designers did little entertainment videos. They read A Night Before Christmas. They did little cooking tutorials, music, all of that. It was just such a cute idea, and I think they're going to do it next year, and I can't wait to attend again next year if I'm able to make it. Just so well done and so much fun and such a cute idea, so that was great. Other than that, not much is new. Work has been pretty busy, but I think it'll calm down. Last week was pretty crazy. I think it's just end of the year rush to get things done and get things in. A lot of people take off next week, leading up to Christmas, and then the week after, obviously between Christmas and New Year's, is a big week for people to take time off, so everyone's just trying to get stuff done. So it's been a bit crazy, but I'm off today, which is why I'm filming on Wednesday. Just got to use up some of my time off before it expires at the end of the year. So Alex and I are going out for pizza in a little bit, but I thought I would get a video in. So let's get to the stitching. I have a finish, I have a couple starts, I have my whips, I have some haul, I have a giveaway, and maybe a little bit of planning talk too. I don't think I'm going to do books for this video. I'm still reading Less is Lost and Invisible Child. If you want to hear more about those, you can check out my other videos. I talk about them at the end, but just haven't been reading much. Work's been busy, and then I've been doing a lot of stitchy things and holiday things. So I think I'm going to try to be more balanced in my time next year with reading and cross-stitching. This year I've leaned much more to cross-stitching. But anyway, I will probably do a video, like a Flosstube extra, sometime next week, and it'll be just a bookish episode, and I will talk about the books I read this year, some of my favorites, and bookish plans for next year. So I'll just create my own video for books, and we'll just stick to cross-stitching today. So let's get into it. So my first one is a fully finished, not fully finished, just finished. I didn't frame it yet, but I have the frame, so I'll show you that too. But this is Hello from Liz Mathews, 5th Day of Christmas, and I'm gonna hold it on this side. And it's just so beautiful. I love it. There were a few issues with this one. There was a little bit of frogging throughout. There was some miscounting, but I kind of made it all work. I had one kind of little issue toward the end that I don't even think you can tell there's a mistake here, but there is a mistake, but I'm not going to point it out. So if you can see it, let me know, but I think it's so small you can't tell, which at first I wasn't sure. Anyway, I think it's gorgeous. This is, so Liz Mathews has the 12 Days of Christmas. I don't know if she's released all 12 yet. I think she's still, I'm not sure. But this is the 5th day, 5 golden rings, which are made to look like cross-stitch hoops, which is so cute. I did this on a 28 count even weave using the called for DMC for the most part. So I think it's just lovely. I can't wait to frame it. I'm gonna try to frame it maybe tonight or this weekend. I have a frame, so let me show you. I went to Michael's, and initially I was gonna do a silver frame, but then I saw this one and thought it was kind of cool and rustic looking, and I thought that it would look nice. So it's got kind of like a gold and a brown tones to it, and I thought that that would look really lovely. So I'm gonna frame it soon. And my next video, you will see it fully finished. And I'm probably gonna need to watch a tutorial on framing it because I do want to try to lace it, and I haven't done that. I know it's not hard, but I'll probably watch, there's lots of tutorials on YouTube, so I'll watch a tutorial just to make sure I don't mess it up. So that is my finish. So that's exciting. I got it done before Christmas. Well, it'll be fully finished this weekend, so it will be done before Christmas. And so that's it for finishes. And so now I can go on to starts. So, and I'm missing one of my starts because it's still in the Q-snap on the table. I'll be right back. Okay, now I have all my starts. So the first one, I will put a PDF up in a minute, but I was actually, after the Jingle Ball, I was thinking of starting one of the patterns I got there. I was just in the mood to start something new. I think I'm kind of getting into that point where I just want to start all the things. And so I thought I would start one of those. I started looking through my stash of fabrics and floss and seeing which one I would want to start. And then I think this was this past Monday, or maybe it was last Monday. Anyway, as I was doing this, someone I follow on Instagram, Judith, X-Stitch Librarian, I think is her handle, she reached out and she was like, hey, a bunch of us are doing a small Christmas sale. It's a free pattern. Do you want to join? And I was like, well, I'm in the mood to start something. And, you know, joining a stitch along with some others sounded like more fun than just picking up something and doing it myself. So I joined the stitch along. She sent me the pattern. It's a free pattern. It is called The Joy of Winter, and it's from Stitches Through the Years. She has a link to a Google Drive with the free pattern, so that is how I got it. I don't know if it's available. I couldn't find it just like online. So if you are really interested in this pattern, let me know. I can probably get you that. You can email me, novel_stitch. It might just be novelstitcher@gmail.com. I never forget. I never remember if I put underscore or not, but it's in the description. You could email me, and I tend to not shout out my Instagram, but I do have an Instagram that is novel_stitcher. So you could always message me on Instagram. Follow me there if you want to see some of my progress on my stitching throughout the weeks that I'm not posting a Flosstube and bookish stuff and life stuff. So feel free to follow me on Instagram. But if you want this pattern, this is what it looks like. It's not the best picture of it, but that's what it looks like. I can get that to you, and it is a free pattern. So this has been a lot of fun. So this is The Joy of Winter. This is my progress, which is pretty good. It must have been last Monday. There's no way I got this done. It's Wednesday. I don't know what days are anymore. Holidays make the days very confusing, but I love this one. This is a 28 count khaki lugana. I'm pretty sure I just got this at my LNS, so I don't really particularly know if there's any kind of branding behind it, but I think this is so nice to stitch on. I really like luganas, and I think like 28, 32 count is starting to be my happy place with stitching. I do want to try 36 at some point, but I like 28 and 32, and I like luganas. It's just nice to stitch on. I'm using mostly the called for DMC. I just think this is really pretty. I think it's going to turn out really cute. So I'm excited for that one. And it's fun to do stitch along. Yasmin Made with Love is doing it. I'm not going to remember everyone else because there's quite a few of us on the Instagram chat, but it's a good time. And I like seeing other people because other people are doing different colors, different color fabric. They're playing with the colors of the floss and stuff. So it's interesting to see how everybody puts their own kind of twist onto things when you're doing a stitch along. So that's a lot of fun. So that is the joy of winter. And then my next start is a pattern I actually just got. So I did take advantage of one Black Friday sale. Can't resist. And I got a little package from Fat Quarter Shop because they were having 20% off. And I had been eyeing this one for a while. So I don't have any Prairie Schoolers. So this is a Prairie Garden. And I just think it's really just pretty. I like how they did all the flowers. You could do these as little smalls or one piece. I'm gonna do it as one piece. And it is like spring and summer because of the flowers, but it's not particularly seasonal. So I think it's one that I could stitch and leave out all year if I wanted to. I'll probably frame it like they did, maybe in a brown frame. This could be left out all year, but the reason I started this is I was getting a little burnt out on the Christmas stitching, but I didn't really want to go to anything that any of my whips I wasn't feeling, so I was like, I will just start something new. So that's Prairie Schooler, and the colors are really pretty, just very pretty pinks and blues and yellows and greens. And so not much progress because I literally started this 2 nights ago when I was just feeling it. So that's it. And I don't know how I feel about this fabric. So let me know. I haven't done so much that I can't just decide maybe not. Like even looking at it on the screen, I can take this away. But it's just very fine. It's very transparent. And so it's just like a off-white. It's a 30 count. I got it at my L&S. That was pretty early on in the spring when I didn't really know what I was doing. And I wanted to stitch Plum Street Samplers, This Is the Day. And so I was looking for a fabric. They didn't have a lot of a ton of fabric stash at the time. So they recommended this one. And I didn't really know what I was doing. So I was like, yeah, that looks fine. And I don't know, it's just very see-through. And I don't know if it's gonna look weird. Like in general, if this is the best fabric for something where you will have quite a bit of the fabric showing through on the pattern. So let me know if you all think it would work. Maybe it'll look good once you get all the stitching in and, you know, put white behind it to frame it. But this is a 30 count. And I'm just using the called for DMC. So we'll see. The thing is I don't know if I have any other fabric in stash that would work for this one right now. I don't know if I have a piece that's big enough. Though actually I might have white. I don't know if it's big enough. I do think I have some more 28 count white lugana that I did the 5th day of Christmas with. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. So that's that one. And it's a good thing to ask you all your opinion now before I get too far into it, because at this point I don't mind just deciding like, nah, this fabric's not gonna work. And I don't know if I've done that yet, where I actually really started stitching on something and decided the fabric doesn't work. So maybe there's a first time for everything. Because looking at it, I'm going on and on about this, but looking at it here, like it just, I don't know. I don't know if I like that this is see-through. So let me know. Maybe it'll work. Still learning. Then the next thing I have is whips. So those are my 2 starts, and I'll get into whips. And I made a lot of progress on this one. What did I just do? Oh, Silent Night, Country Cottage Needleworks. And this is what I was stitching during the Jingle Ball. So I did get quite a bit of stitching done on this because I went to the Jingle Ball not this past weekend, but the weekend before, December 4th, 5th, that weekend. I went Friday night and stayed up till midnight. It was fun. I don't normally stay up that late, but it was worth it. And then I went Saturday morning before Alex and I went out. So that's the progress on that one. And I love this. It's so cute. The church is coming along so pretty, doing the little trees. And I don't have too much more to go. Words are pretty quick to stitch, so not too much more to go on those. And Then and the words at the bottom, and then the border and some snowflakes. Snowflakes are not my favorite. Sorry, I need to take a drink of coffee. My mug kind of matches the pattern. I think I just have scratchy morning voice since I just woke up not too long ago. But yeah, the snowflakes will take a while, but that's cute. And I think my goal was to have this done by this weekend, and then I decided to start on the Prairie Schooler one and spent all last night like thinking about starting that one. And I also bobbinated a lot of my floss and just got myself organized in general because I had a lot of floss that was just loose. So I don't know if I'll finish that one this weekend, but it'll be done soon, before Christmas as well. I don't know how I'm gonna fully finish it. I did see someone on Instagram post about it. I guess they were stitching it too, and they just did it in a nice little white frame. I might do that, just something simple for that one. And then the next two whips, just bitty progress from the last time you saw them. So the next one is Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings. This one's so cute. This is a finish it next year one, for sure. Finish it by next Christmas. And so all I did was finish Santa's bag. Well, it's not even quite finished. I just did more stitching on the bag around here. This will be the sleigh. So just more stitching on the back. But it'll come out cute, I think. I'm excited. I like working on this one. It's fun. And Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot is working on it too, and she is starting over where the cardinal is, up in this corner. And so it's kind of fun to see what it looks like for her starting in a different spot. I mostly start in the middle, so this one is the middle. But I've actually started with the Joy of Winter. I actually started this one in the corner, and this is the first project I've ever started in the upper left-hand corner. So, which I like too. And for this one, just the way the border is around the top, I just wanted to start with that. And I think pretty much everyone else doing the stitch along was starting at that point too. So I wanted to kind of do the same thing. And then the last whip I have is Christmas Rules, which very little progress on this one, which this is a stitch along with the Cornhusker State Stitchers. They are probably pretty much done. I think they'll probably finish this part, and like this part probably needs to be finished by this weekend or next weekend. I know they wanted to finish it at or before Christmas, so the stitch along for them is probably almost done, but you know, do what you want with stitch alongs. It's, you know, there's no rules, so even though there's Christmas rules. That was a bad joke. So I didn't do a ton on this one either, but that's all right. It is a fun one to stitch on though. So I had, I think like a little bit of deck done. I think I had deck and the T and like some of the tree done. So now the tree is finished with the snowflakes. I have deck, the, and halls. And then I have one stitch for the border that goes between this little motif and the next one. But it's cute. I like this one. And this is, oh, I didn't say what Christmas Delivery was for the fabric. It's a 32 count vintage Stormy Night, and I'm using the Call for DMC. So, and then the Christmas Rolls is just like a random 35, I think it's 35 count beige that I got in another kit. And I'm using my own choices of DMC just because I didn't really have all the called for, but I'm using similar colors. So just slightly different shades, but same red. It's more or less the same kind of red, green, white. And then for the package is like a gray, black and white, and I chose to do it with 2 shades of blue and white because black and white for me isn't very Christmassy, so I chose to go with blues. So that is it for all of the actual stitching I've been working on. I think I hit everything there. So next we can go into, let's do Flosstube recommendations. So I have 2 Flosstubers I've been enjoying lately. The first one is Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. I think she's been around for quite a while. She is very prolific stitcher and quilter. I don't quilt, but I like seeing what people do for quilting. Maybe someday I'll get into it. That could be my next hobby, but between reading and cross stitch and work, I don't know if I have time for another hobby. And right now I don't really have the room for quilting stuff. I don't even have a sewing machine, but I love seeing what other people do, and maybe that'll inspire me one day to get into it myself. But Elizabeth does all kinds of beautiful stitching, really pretty finishes. She's just fun to watch. She's got a lot of energy. She likes to laugh. She's very funny. So I really like her stuff, and she does little finishing tutorials, usually kind of in her Flosstubes. She'll show something that's fully finished, and then like right after she talks about it, she'll do like a quick sped up little video of what she did to finish it, so you could watch and learn some finishing techniques. So that's Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. And then the other one I would recommend is Two Needles Pulling Thread. That is Kathy and Missy. I really like watching Flosstubes where it's two people talking about their stitching. I'm pretty sure they're sisters-in-law, and they've had a lot of ups and downs this year, but their stitching is beautiful. They have a great friendship. I love seeing them just joke and talk about their lives, and then seeing all of their amazing stitching. They're kind of inspiring and really just lovely channel to watch. So that's Two Needles Pulling Thread. So those are my recommendations. So please check them out. And then we'll do a little bit of haul. This will be my last kind of larger haul, I think. I'm going to try to be really good in January and February and not really buy anything cross-stitching related. I know that I think it's called Needlework Market. People just call it Market. I think that's in March. I know it's in Nashville, and I think it's where different designers and probably fabric dyers and others go to sell stuff in the spring. And it's the time when a lot of the designers release their new patterns for the year. I was not in Flosstube or aware of this last year, so I'm not sure if I got all the details right, but I know it is the time of year when a lot of new patterns are released by all the different designers, and so I want to save my pennies in January and February so that when new charts are released in March, I feel okay with, picking up some new things, especially if there's ones that I really, really love. So I think I asked for an Etsy gift card for my mom for Christmas, so I, of course, can use that for cross-stitch stuff, but try to be good the next couple months. So there are two things I want to get. Fat Quarter Shop has a cross-stitch journal. Right now I just use like a random notebook for all my notes on what I'm stitching and the colors and the fabric. So I do want to get like a nice little cross-stitch journal just to record everything and have a nice record of all the stitching, when I started stuff, when I finished stuff, that kind of thing. So probably get that. And then I do want to get a temperature chart. So that's part of plans, which I will have an episode on 2023 plans, but I do want to do a temperature chart that, if you don't know what that is, which maybe most of you do, but if you don't, it's like a pattern where there's little pieces of it that you stitch in colors related to what the temperature was on that day. So the one I might get is from Stitchin' Mommy on Etsy, and it's a tree, and then all the leaves on the trees are the days of the year, and you stitch them in whatever temperature it was. So maybe a dark blue is like 35 to 25. There's like ranges of temperatures, and then it has a color that corresponds, and I think that's so much fun. So I wanna do one of those. So we'll need to get the pattern for that. I'll probably just get a PDF from Etsy. So I have to decide which one I want to do. There's a bookcase. I know that Pam from Just Keep Stitching is doing one that has it's like a bar, or it's got little drinks. And I think that one of the newer ones this year is a Quaker. So different Quaker motifs that you stitch in different colors related to the temperature. But I kind of like the idea of the tree, because the leaves and the way the trees are is a huge indicator of the different seasons, especially in the Northeast. So I think I might do the tree. So actual haul. I'm going to start with Jingle Ball. I'm not going to show everything I got. A lot of the patterns were exclusive, and I'm pretty sure that just means you can't get them for about a year. And then this that I'm going to show is, you could only get it at the Jingle Ball, though I'm sure the designers will release some of these patterns, but to make it exclusive and special, they don't release them right away. So I won't show any of the PDF ones. I got a few PDF patterns. I got a PDF pattern from Ink Circles, from Lindy Stitches. Steph Webb is the one who kind of was the brains behind the Jingle Ball. And then I got a Tiny Modernist pattern, but I won't show those because they're PDFs and it's not as fun to show just PDFs on the screen, and you can't get them right away. But I will show the little Jingle Ball Baubles book. So each of the designers created an ornament, which is so cute. I'm not going to remember all of the designers who were there, though this might list them. No, there's no like full list of them, but Hands on Design was there. Like I said, Ink Circles, Teresa Kogut, Lindy Stitches, Tiny Modernist, the Blue Flower, a bunch of others. I'm forgetting all of their names, but there were 12 designers, 12 Days of Christmas, 12 designers. And this is an ornament book. So these are all little ornaments, and the back shows all of them. So I'll let you take a look. And I'm sure these designers will release these patterns at some point in the next year, probably about a year from now. And so these are all so cute. I love I mostly got it for the giraffe. I love giraffes, they're my favorite animal, and I think this is a blue flower pattern, and he's so cute holding his candy cane. But I like this from Hands on Design, the little Santa. This is the Teresa Kogut. Lindy Stitches did the mouse, so cute. Ink Circles. So that was really fun, and I'm excited to stitch some of these ornaments. And then the two physical patterns I got were both Teresa Kogut, because I don't have a lot of her stuff, and I liked going to her meet and greet and just think her designs are so beautiful. And again, I'm sure she'll release these. This one, the first one I'm going to show, I think she said she's going to release at Market in March, but do not quote me on that. I'm not 100% positive, but within the next year, you'll be able to get these if you're interested. So the first one is Santa's Young Buck. So cute. Look at the little deer. Look at a snowman. I like how she does her Santas. Just so pretty. And I like she tells stories about all of her patterns. So this one, the young buck, he wants to pull Santa's sleigh, but he's a bit too small. He's too young. He's got to grow up a little bit before he can pull Santa's sleigh. So Santa's comforting him. And then the little snowman was just eavesdropping because he was curious about what Santa was telling the young buck. And then he started falling off the tree. And he's hanging on so he doesn't fall on the poor deer and make his day even worse. So I thought that was cute. I like that she has little stories to tell behind her patterns. So that one's cute. And then this one was, I think that one was just an early release, like as a nice thing for everyone. And then this was the Jingle Ball exclusive, which is why I think that this one might come out during Market. And then the one I'm going to show now, it might be a full year. And so this is Deck the Halls. And so I don't stitch people much. If you notice, I don't have any patterns with people. I'm not a huge like Mirabilia. Nora Corbett isn't really my style. I love seeing other people stitch it. So pretty, but just not something that I would display. And mostly I'm stitching at this point to display stuff in my apartment. But she's cute. I like her. I like her dress. Her hair all up in a bun. Of course, I like the little black cat because I have a black and white cat. I just thought that was really cute. So that's Deck the Halls. So I don't think I'll be stitching either of those super soon, but I kind of want to start them and sometime in 2023. It's hard to say like I want to do all of these things and get it finished by next Christmas, because that's like maybe like 5 or 6 things that I like fairly intricate and large patterns that I would want to get done next year. So we'll see what I get around to. And so the other bit of haul was Fat Quarter Shop, and this was their Black Friday. So I got some nicer fabric. I figured I'd just try it out. I know a lot of people like fiber on a whim, so I got affogato. And a lot of people on Flosstube, they're like, I don't know what affogato is. It's a coffee drink. I don't know what's in it. I think it's like coffee and steamed milk and something else, but it's coffee. So that's Affogato. It's beautiful. Like this is a beautiful color. I love the modeling. I get why it's really soft. I get why people like the fancy cloth, because this is super nice, and it wasn't that expensive. This is a 32 count Belfast linen, 18 by 16, nope, 18 by 26, and I think I showed All Joys for Thine in my last episode by Blackbird. I think this is perfect for that, so I think I'm gonna stitch that one on this. And so that'll be a 2023 start at some point. And then I wanted something a little different. So this is, picture this plus, this is Earthen. Again, ordering online, this is much more pink. I thought it was gonna be more of a beigey pink, but it's much more very pink, but that's all right. I probably should have taken Affogato out of the bag, but I think you could see the color. It came across pretty well in the bag, but this is Earthen. And even here on the screen, it's not showing as lighter baby pink as it actually is, but I like it. That shows a little bit better. No, it's still not. It's even pinker than that, but that's okay because it's beautiful. The modeling is really nice. It's just a soft, nice fabric. And I know I'll find something pretty for spring to stitch on a pink fabric. I'm not sure what. I don't have anything. I was looking through all of the patterns that I do have, and I don't have anything that I thought would really be great for this right now, but you never know. Needlework market, maybe someone will release something that would look pretty on this. The problem with some of the spring patterns, like if you think about like this one, the flowers are pink, and so if you have something with like pink flowers, I'm just worried that like that's not gonna show on a pink fabric and might even be like pink overload. I like pink, but I'm not like a huge pink person. So, but I will find something beautiful to stitch on that, I'm sure. And then I got three patterns. So I got the Prairie Schooler, Prairie Garden. That one was a Fat Quarter Shop. Then I got this one from Liz Mathews. I love this. All of her patterns. I just want to stitch all of them. I think she's my favorite right now because she's the only designer I've stitched more than one thing from. So I have 2 Pumpkins Bright that I did in the fall, and then 5th Day of Christmas, and this is Berry Patch for the spring. So this will definitely be like a late February, early March start, maybe usher in the hopes of a warmer weather. And I just love how she did that bunny and the beekeep. So cute. So cute. So that one I'm excited for. I just got a little one from Cottage Needleworks. I love all of their patterns, and I love sunflowers, so I got a little sunflower one. It's called Sunflower Sampler. So just a little sunflower sampler. So that'll be a quick stitch. So that'll be a cute one to work on. And then that was it. So not too bad. So next we're going to do giveaways. So one giveaway, and I'll give some context behind this giveaway. I get Fat Quarter Shop stitch quarterly, so you probably want to turn away or even turn the volume off or fast forward if you do get Fat Quarter Shop stitch quarterly and you have not gotten yours yet, though I think they even already posted this on Instagram. So it's a quarterly surprise box that you get a bag, you get some little notions, and you get a pattern, fabric, floss, a needle minder, all of that. In the fall, you might remember that I got one that had a little fox. That said Fall is in the Air. I loved that one, and so I was excited to get the Christmas one. Unfortunately, it's very cute. It's just not for me. So I decided I would give it away because I don't want to hang on to something that I just know I'm not going to stitch. And I'd rather, share it with you all and do it as a giveaway because it is really cute. And I want someone to stitch it and love it and be super happy. So it does come in a bag. I can show you, but I am going to keep the bag because I need more project bags. So sorry, but I am going to keep this because it's pretty. And I only have a couple bags to store all my stuff in. So that's the part of it I'm going to keep, but everything else I'm going to give away. So the first thing that came with it is the pattern. It's called Lady Claws. So little winking lady she's really cute, but as I said, I'm a little bit picky about stitching people. And just not my style, but it is so cutely done. It's so nicely designed, the way they did her hair, her little rosy cheeks. I mean, it's just really well done. It's just not for me. But, you know, if you have like a couple Santas and you would want to put her, you know, Mrs. Claus, Lady Claus with your Santas, or, you know, she got like her little nightgown, I think that's supposed to be. So she's cute. So I'm going to give this away. So you get the pattern. You will get a needle minder with her. Their needle minders are so nice. They're such nice quality. It's nice and big. So you'll get the needle minder. You'll get the floss. So all the flosses you need, which is not that many colors, which is nice. Pretty quick stitch, I think. You get the floss. And then you'll get the fabric. And so it's like a cool minty green. How pretty. I like that color. I think that's really fun. So basically you'll get this in the mail and you'll be able to start stitching it right away, or stick it in stash and have it all kitted up if you like that one. So if you do want that for the giveaway, you have to be 18 years or older. I would prefer if you were a subscriber. That would mean a lot to me if you were subscribed. Please like this video and please leave a comment using the word claws. C-L-A-U-S, like Lady Claus. Use the word claws. C-L-A-U-S. Do not say giveaway or win or anything like that, because I think that can allow people to search through comments and be trolls and try to enter giveaways when they don't really want the product. They just want to win something. So I really want this to go to someone who's going to stitch her, because she's cute. So use claws. And I will pick someone, just use a random. So what you can do when you use the word like claws or something is there's apps online that will just search through the comments and just pull out a random comment to make it really fair. So that's how we'll do the giveaway. I think I will probably film my next Flosstube, let's say 2 Wednesdays from now. So the Wednesday between Christmas and New Year's, so 2 weeks. I'll probably film at some point that week. It might be on Wednesday, it might not, but it'll be Wednesday or later. So please enter before Wednesday morning, the 25th, 6th, 8th, I think it's the 28th. And I'll send this your way. You'll get all of that good stuff. So that's the giveaway, that's the haul. Plans, I'll probably do a larger 2023 plan video. Let me know your plans. What are you stitching? Are you still into Christmas, or are you over Christmas? Are you moving on? Do you stitch winter in the winter, or are you thinking spring already? Are you not seasonal and you're just stitching whatever you want and it doesn't matter? I'll probably need to kind of like figure out how I'm gonna stitch things that are fall or Christmas in the off seasons, just so I have some things done for those times. When I was thinking of doing the Prairie garden, I was looking at like my other whips and being like, I don't want to stitch Christmas. Maybe I should stitch something that's already in progress. And I did pull out Fall is in the Air for about 2 seconds, and I was like, I can't stitch something fall 2 weeks before Christmas. It just wasn't, that wasn't gonna work for me. So I have to figure out what I wanna do. So maybe, I think a lot of people do whip go. And so whip go is like bingo with your whips, where you make a bingo board, and then Jessie Marie does stuff. Oh, I'm glad I remembered that. She is the one who created Whip Go. And there's a Facebook group if you're interested, if you have enough whips that you would want to create some sort of bingo board. And what she does is each month she'll call out 2 numbers, 5 and 7. And whatever you have in boxes 5 and 7, that's what you'll do. And I could say work on Christmas rules, and have that be in box 5 for 5 hours. And so when she calls it in August, I would work on Christmas rules for 5 hours that month. So it's kind of a game. It's kind of a way to get you working on whips that have been sitting around that you might not always be eager to pull out, or might forget about, or just aren't prioritizing. So it's a good way to make a game of it and make it fun. So I know she'll post a YouTube video on 2023 Whip Go if she hasn't already. So that's Jessie Marie Does Stuff. Pretty sure that's her YouTube name, and it should be her Instagram name as well. So check her out if you're interested in Whip Go. I don't think I have enough whips. I can't tell you how many boxes are in the bingo grid. I want to say it's 20. I want to say it's 5 across and there's 4 rows, might be right. I don't have 20 whips, but what I might do is just like still create the bingo board and put in like spend 5 hours on a fall stitch or finish a Christmas stitch or something like that, and make it more generic and not related to necessarily whips, but anything that I might want to work on. So I might do that, or like pick a designer, like work on a Teresa Kogut for 6 hours this month or something. So I'm going to play around with that, and when I figure out what I'm going to do, I'll share it with you all if you're interested, because I think that could be a fun way to make sure I'm working on things, and make sure, like if I picked a whip, if I said Christmas rules and it's only on the board once, I don't know how many times everything would get called, maybe twice in the year. But if I said work on it for 3 hours and it only got called once or twice, I wouldn't finish it. So if I say put like work on a Christmas stitch and do multiple boxes with that kind of category, whether it be hours or number of stitches or finishing or starting or something like that, I think that could be good to get some of my projects going in the off seasons. So that's one of my plans. I'm going to do the temperature chart, so I need to pick that and make sure I have the fabric, and probably need to get some more floss. That's the only thing that in my haul ban to not buy a lot. I can still buy floss because I'll have all these projects that I want to start, and I have fabric for most. I'm sure I have enough fabric for a lot of things. I have patterns. It might just be some DMC, which is cheap enough, so that's okay. And then I think I mentioned in my last videos, I do want to start spring Quaker when it snows. So I think it's just going to icy rain tomorrow. There is going to be some inclement weather, but I don't know if I'll count that because I really want snow, but I think it's supposed to snow within the next week or two. So this one will probably be started soon. This is a big one, but I have the fabric. I think I have most of the floss. Sometimes you go to Michael's and they're just out of that like one color that you really need. So I have to double check that I have all the colors, but I'm excited to start this. And this is a sort of a stitch along. Obviously it's a snow stitch, so I haven't started yet, but Huga Stitcher is doing this one as a stitch along, a snow stitch. A lot of Flosstubers are doing snow stitches, and I think it's up to you whether you're going to just only stitch on it when it snows or just start it when it snows. For me, it's just starting it when it snows because it doesn't snow all the time in southeastern PA, so if I only stitched it when it snowed, it would probably take me years to finish this one. It probably still will take me more than a year, but this will be the biggest, most intricate pattern I've done so far. And then the other one I've mentioned, and this is my post-Christmas, the week between Christmas and New Year's start, is Winter Rose Manor. And I have everything I need for this. For this one, I do have the fabric now, and I did get months and months and months ago the fancy floss. So I do have some fancy floss, which is fun. I normally just do DMC because it's cheaper, but for this one, I splurged. So I'm excited to start that one. I'm working the week between Christmas and New Year's, but we are allowed to work from home, and it should be a fairly quiet week. So it'll be one of the weeks where I just have my laptop up if I'm needed for anything, maybe block a few hours to just do some 2023 planning and get myself organized for the new year, and otherwise can spend, a few hours more than usual every day doing a little stitching. So I'll definitely do Winter Rose Manor. I'll probably stitch on Spring Quaker as long as we get a little bit of snow between now and then. Make more progress on some of my whips and see how it goes. So I'm excited. 2023 should be, fingers crossed, a good year, a year of stitching. Got to figure out my reading plans. And I'm excited to have that'll be my first full year of stitching, since I didn't really super get into it till around like March or April of this year. I didn't discover Flosstube till I think around like June, and so, you know, it opened a whole new world, and now I have like a full year where I can plan and do things like whip go. I'm going to my first cross stitch retreat in October next year, so it'll be really good. So let me know what you're stitching. Let me know if you're doing anything fun around the holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas or something else. I hope you have a wonderful next couple of weeks. I hope you're safe and happy and healthy, and the same to your family. Just leave some comments and chat with me. So thanks so much for watching, and keep stitching and keep reading, and have a great week, everyone.